Hello, welcome to the Cryptid Cupid's Collab. I am especially excited about this one because it was my idea, so I'm the host. So, as I mentioned, my cryptid is a Loch Ness monster. Instead of using a Lorna McNessie doll, I plan on actually making a Loch Ness monster. A fish with a big body, humps on her back, and a long tail, flippers, an actual Loch Ness monster. I'm really hoping that this is going to be pretty cool. We'll find out. It's going to be a lot of sculpting, and I feel like I'm probably going to have to change the doll's skin color because Loch Ness is actually very dark water. It's murky, so I'm using a Spectra doll, which, as you know, is white. So that won't work because it would really show up in the water. So I think I'm going to go with purple because purple in green water would be hard to see. So let's get going. We'll see what I can come up with. I'm going to do things a little bit differently this time. Instead of narrating what I'm doing on the screen, I'm going to tell you the story of my cryptid. Here we go. The Loch Ness Monster. A cryptid forgotten by time and lore, rediscovered in modern ages. But who could this cryptid be? Perhaps she is a demigoddess, the offspring of a god and a mortal woman. Is she a monster, or is she a creature who has been misunderstood by humanity, so tragically misunderstood? Perhaps she is a lonely soul, seeking connection, love, and beauty in the world. Perhaps she is a love witch with no greater desire than to help reconnect lost loves, or help two hearts find each other. Perhaps she dwells in the murky, peat-washed depths of the loch, listening and watching, waiting for her chance to make a dream come true and fulfill a heart. Listen to this tale and determine the truth for yourself. Deep beneath the icy, misty waters of Loch Ness, in caverns carved by ancient tides, lived Nessa, a being of legend, though the truth of her was far kinder than the tales told by man. Nessa was a cryptid with the sleek, powerful body of a plesiosaur from the waist down, her long tail gliding effortlessly through the dark waters. From the waist up, she was strikingly human, though her skin was dark purple and as smooth as a river stone, her hair a cascade that rippled like kelp in the water. Her deep green eyes glowed faintly as if they carried the essence of the loch itself. She moved through the water with eerie grace, unseen by eyes, except on rare occasions. She wore a necklace of beads and polished stones, treasures she had found in the depths of the loch. Though humans feared her, thinking her some terrible beast, Nessa was gentle at heart, a creature who thrived on love, not fear. Her true joy lay not in terrorizing, but in bringing people together. Nessa has a gift. She listens to the lonely hearts of the world, and she helps them find love. Nessa has watched humans for centuries, swimming beneath their boats or peeking through reeds as they strolled along the shores. She felt their pain and longing, the loneliness they carried like stones in their hearts. Humans fascinated her, not for their technology or stories, but for their boundless capacity to love, even when broken by it. She determined long ago that she would use her magic to nurture this part of the human heart, to do all that she could to create more love and more happiness in the world. She had a gift for sensing the threads of connection between hearts. To her, love was a song, a vibration in the water, and she could feel when two people's songs harmonized. People who know of this legend, the story passed down in families through the ages, whispered discreetly, tossed their wishes into the loch, letters sealed in bottles, inscribed with longing. Some ask for a lost love to return, others beg for love to finally find them. The messages drift on the waves until Nessa's hand plucked them from the surface of the water, the undulating curves of her back sometimes visible as she breaks the surface. She reads every note by the light of glowing fish, moonbeams reflected on the surface of the water. Some letters make her smile, some bring a sorrowful sigh, but she answers whenever possible. With her magic, she whispers charms onto the water, sending ripples across the loch that carry love's pull to those who need it. Sometimes she weaves the mists into dreams, guiding two destined souls together. Other times, she ties fate's threads together in ways that no human could predict. One evening, as a storm raged across the loch, Nessa noticed a small rowboat caught in the gale. A young couple clung to each other, their faces pale and drawn with fear. The boat rocked and twirled, out of control and taking on water. Nessa's heart ached for them. Surely they would drown if their boat capsized. Without hesitation, she dove deep and surged upward, her powerful body slicing through the water. She surfaced beneath the boat, steadying it with her broad back. The humans screamed as the boat rocked violently, but Nessa ignored their fear. Slowly, she pushed the boat towards shore, the humps on her back perfectly nestling the boat, her powerful tail and flippers propelling them through the churning waves. When they were close enough to land, she vanished beneath the water, content to let them believe that the loch had simply shown mercy. The couple, bonded by the shared terror and the relief at being alive, would go on to fall deeply in love. Nessa, watching from the shadows, smiled to herself. Then, one evening, as the wind howled over the dark waters of the loch, Nessa found a bottle bobbing between the waves. Inside, written in a big round hand, was a message that made her pause. It said, "I don't want love for myself. I want my mom to love again. She has been alone for a long time. Please, if you're real, help her find happiness." It was signed Fiona, age 10. Nessa's heart, old and vast as the loch itself, ached for the child's wish. She closed her eyes and let the water tell her the truth. She saw Fiona's mother, a woman who once laughed freely, now weighed down by sorrow, a woman who had lost love before and feared even finding it again. Nessa flicked her great flippers and tail, sending a rolling wave towards the shore. In its wake, she set her spell into motion. The very next morning, Fiona's mother, Moira, walked along the loch's edge, lost in thought. A sudden gust of wind sent her scarf flying straight into the hands of a man she had never met before. He laughed as he caught it, his kind eyes full of humor. "Looks like the loch doesn't want you to lose this," he said. Moira felt something stir in her chest when she heard his voice and looked into his eyes, something she had not felt in a long time. The loch watched. Nessa watched. Fate, ever playful, had begun its dance. Years later, Nessa encountered someone different, a woman named Bonnie, who wandered the loch's edges alone, sketchbook in hand. Bonnie was an artist, captivated by the beauty of the loch and the mystery of the monster reportedly within it. But Nessa saw more in Bonnie than just curiosity. She felt the same loneliness in her that she sensed in herself. For weeks, Nessa watched Bonnie from afar. Then she began leaving little gifts for her, a perfectly smooth pebble, a water lily, a pretty feather from a bird. Bonnie began to wonder if the loch itself was alive and trying to speak to her. Then, one evening as Bonnie sat sketching by the water, Nessa decided to reveal herself. She never did this with humans. She had learned long ago that it caused fear and confusion. It may be dangerous for her, but she had grown to trust Bonnie. Slowly, she rose from the depths, her human torso and the humps on her back breaking the surface. Bonnie seen her and gasped, dropping her pencil, but she didn't scream or run. "You're beautiful," Bonnie whispered, her voice trembling with awe. Nessa tilted her head, the corners of her mouth curving into a shy smile. Though she couldn't speak, she gestured towards Bonnie's sketchbook, then towards the loch, as if to say, "I see you." From that day forward, Bonnie and Nessa formed an unspoken bond. Bonnie would sit by the shore, talking to the loch, as if it could hear her, and Nessa would listen, sometimes surfacing to offer a smile or a gift. Then, one fateful night, Bonnie confided her heartbreak, a love recently lost to misunderstanding and pride. Nessa, hearing the sorrow in Bonnie's voice, knew she must help. Her magic was telling her that she had what she needed to ease her friend's pain. So she dove deep into the loch, to the cavern where she kept her bottled messages, and began to search. Finally, she found what she was looking for. With a heavy heart, she placed the bottle on the shore where Bonnie would find it. She knew that revealing this truth may mean that Bonnie would be lost to her, for inside the bottle was a heartfelt apology written by Bonnie's lost love. He had placed the message in a bottle instead of confessing his remorse to Bonnie. Bonnie was stunned when she discovered the letter and realized that it was meant for her. Following her heart, after receiving the letter, Bonnie traveled to a nearby village and found the one who had written it, her lost love. The reunion was tearful and joyous, their love reignited like a flame sheltered from the wind. Bonnie returned to the loch one last time, standing at the water's edge. "Thank you," she whispered, tears in her eyes. She thought she saw a dark shape ripple beneath the surface, a faint glimmer of green eyes watching from the depths. For centuries, whispers of a strange presence in the waters of the Loch Ness have rippled through the villages that bordered its misty shores. Fishermen, casting their nets into dark depths, sometimes felt an uncanny sensation of being watched. Others claimed to see shadows gliding beneath the surface, larger than any fish or eel. As it often does, imagination took hold, and the stories of a fearsome beast began to spread. A creature with eyes that glowed like lanterns and jaws capable of swallowing a man whole. Some said it was a demon sent to guard the loch, punishing those who dared disturb its waters. Others claimed it was a punishment from the ancient gods, a warning to keep humans in their place. Over time, the stories grew more wild with each retelling. And though no one had ever truly seen the monster, the people of the loch leaned into the mystery, crafting a myth that would draw attention and money. Entrepreneurs turned fear into spectacle, selling maps of sighting locations or carved trinkets of serpent-like beasts, and even charging travelers to take a boat out onto the loch to catch a glimpse. What they never realized was that there was something in the loch, a being with a beating heart, a mind and a soul, one who watched the myth grow with a mixture of sorrow and curiosity. The human she adored so dearly had turned her into a carnival of fear, weaving her existence into a legend of terror. Her kind gestures, like pushing stranded boats to shore or guiding lost swimmers to safety, were dismissed as strange water currents or freak miracles. Worse, there were those who sought to hunt her, launching expeditions armed with harpoons and nets. She learned to stay hidden, diving deeper into the loch's ancient tunnels, her dreams of connection dimmed but not extinguished. Still, she listened beneath the water. She heard the villagers' hearts, some filled with longing, others with greed. She understood their need for stories, for something bigger than themselves, even if the stories cast her as a monster. But what hurt most was the loneliness. For centuries, Nessa remained unseen, her soul aching for the very connection the humans above the water feared she might destroy. Then, one spring evening, as the loch lay still under a veil of fog, a young boy named Ewan wandered too close to the water's edge, being curious and adventurous. He lost his footing and tumbled into the icy depths. The water claimed him quickly, pulling him under as he struggled to cry for help. Nessa, gliding through the water as she often did, felt the vibrations of his panic. Without hesitation, she surged forward, wrapping her arms around him. Her powerful body propelled them to the surface, where she laid him gently on the shore. Ewan coughed and sputtered, his wide eyes meeting hers for just a moment. He saw her human face, her glowing green eyes full of concern. But before he could cry out, she vanished beneath the waves, leaving only ripples behind. The boy's story spread like wildfire. Unlike the usual tales of terror, he described something kind, a woman of the loch who had saved him. But his account was met with skepticism and even mockery. "Your imagination got the best of you," the elders said. "What monster would do such a thing?" Still, some began to wonder if the loch's secrets were more complex than they believed. The boy's tale sparked a quiet shift. People began to question the stories they had so long embraced. What if the Loch Ness monster wasn't a beast, but something more? A guardian, perhaps, or a creature that simply wished to live in peace? Nessa, unaware of the growing curiosity, continued her quiet work, helping lost lovers and guiding travelers who wandered too close to the loch's dangers, her soul still longing to be understood, to bridge the gap between her world and theirs. It wasn't until Bonnie, the artist, came into her life that Nessa's hope began to blossom. Bonnie's belief in her kindness gave her the courage to keep helping, even as the myths continued. Through Bonnie's sketches and whispered stories, a new image of the Loch Ness monster began to emerge, not as a beast to be feared, but as a creature of compassion, a silent matchmaker and a protector of the loch's beauty and its people. The monster myth would never fully disappear. Of course, humans needed their legend, but Nessa didn't mind. She had learned that she didn't need the whole world to know her heart, only a few souls who could truly see her for what she was, a creature of love, not fear. The love witch of the loch, hidden beneath the waters of Loch Ness, quietly weaving the threads of human connection with every beat of her ancient heart. Humanity still speaks of the Loch Ness monster, though no one agrees on what she is. Some say she is a guardian spirit, some a love witch. Others insist she's a beast to be feared. But those who have felt her influence, who found love or solace near the loch, know the truth. Nessa is no monster. She is a weaver of hearts, a silent witness to the beauty of love. And though she remains unseen, she is always there, gliding through the darkness, listening for the song of two hearts waiting to be joined. So if you ever find yourself standing by the water's edge, longing for love, write down your wish, seal it in a bottle, and let the loch carry it away. Perhaps, deep below, Nessa will find it, and perhaps, just perhaps, she will answer. Thank you so much for joining me for this project. I would like to say a big thank you to my Collab partners. Don't forget to check out their projects either on YouTube or Instagram. These projects are going to be amazing, so you won't want to miss anything. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Oh, also, I made up this story, so please don't toss any trash into Loch Ness or any other water, hoping to have wishes granted. Let me know what you think of the story. Did you like having the story read to you while you watch the video, or do you prefer having the narration of what's going on as you watch? Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Joining me for this collab are some amazingly talented artists. We have Bumble Crafty, who created a Will-o'-the-Wisp. Then we have Witchy Pink, who created a Mothman. You can find her work on Instagram. Next we have Bonnie Wee Dolls, who created a Jackalope. Joining us from Instagram is Astra Dollarium with a Tanawa. Also with us for this one is Heliophobins Dolls with a Fresno Nightcrawler. Also from Instagram we have Mel's Antics with a Drop Bear. Stitchwick Creations is making a werewolf, but she's running a bit behind, so definitely keep an eye out for her project in the future. And finally, there's me, the Witch Crafting, with a Loch Ness Monster. I really hope you'll check out all of the projects. I'm so excited to see what everyone has created. And the ones I've already seen are absolutely amazing. So a big thank you to my fellow collab artists for joining me. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Mercari, and Patreon if you want to support my work. Probably a few other places I've forgotten about as well. Leave me a comment down below if you have any suggestions, thoughts, ideas, or questions. Thank you!